All right. How's the sound? Good?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Before anything, Graham and Aisha, I don't know where Aisha is, but thank you so much for setting me up for success. It has been 6 months since we were first introduced, and I work with organizations and committees like this, and you guys have set me up for success today, so thank you for that. A couple of people I want to recognize. I haven't met them all in person just yet, but the first would be, and I don't know if he's here just yet, but Captain John McManus, are you here yet? No, he's delayed? Okay. I've been told that it was only 2 years ago that he was onboarded into the system, and already he is dominating his market share. One of the things that he's doing is leveraging customer experience to do that. So 2 years, it's a short amount of time, and I'm excited to see what he does in the next 2 years and how he contributes to the success and how you guys can have some cross-learning with him as well. Next person, I met this individual at dinner last night, and where are you? There you are. Captain Daryl Sausage Francis and Captain Pauline. I understand it is your 39th wedding anniversary this weekend, so congratulations. I can definitely clap for that. I sat next to Daryl at dinner last night, and 39 years. I could barely keep his attention for 39 seconds. So congratulations. And if we hadn't stopped him at 4 beers, I was excited to see him at his 39th beer, which hopefully he'll get to tonight. I met somebody at the airport yesterday, Captain Peter Flossie. You guys all know him, right? You guys know him? Okay. Unfortunately, I now know him too. And Graham texted me and said, my good mate, Peter is going to go to meet you, Flossie. I said, okay, cool. We kind of missed each other for the first little bit, and then on the car ride to the airport, I was like, this is his best mate? There must be a shortage of best mates in the country, because you could definitely do better than that, Graham. And then lastly, and I don't think he's here just yet, but Admiral Bill Malouf, not here yet? Okay. So I asked Graham, what's the itinerary like? And he said, I'm going to speak first. I'm going to introduce you. You're going to speak, and then Admiral Bill Malouf is going to speak. And I was like, this guy sounds super important. So I might as well go online and find out who this individual is. And I was like, holy shit, I'm speaking before the Leonardo DiCaprio of real estate. And being a speaker, you're very particular on your time slot. And I was like, speaking before God isn't going to be really easy. So I'm really excited to hear his message and be with you today throughout the evening as well, too. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start very wide, and then I'm going to go very narrow and very niche. There is going to be some participation, audience participation, and we're going to have some microphones running as we get into that. I'm going to assume that nobody knows who the heck I am other than Graham, Aisha, and Flossie a little bit. So please allow me just a couple moments to build context with you so that you know that we speak the same language. Myself and Graham, we've hit it off, completely aligned with all of our thoughts and how to grow a business by leveraging customer experience. I wanted to learn how to grow a business when I was 19 years old. So what I did was I enrolled in post-secondary university to study and get my business administration degree, just like most people do. After 2 years, I don't have a picture of myself in university, but this is probably as close as it is going to be. I'm not an academic. I do not learn traditionally. I'm a kinesthetic learner. I need to see and do and really get some dirt under my nails, knowing that I just wasn't meant for a classroom. What I did, serendipitously, I was playing basketball one summer with my friend Naveed Sharif. He was studying to be a dentist, and he said, why don't you come work for me at a company that was recently voted the best workplace in Canada in 2006 and in 2007. The best workplace 2 years in a row in a country. They're a medium-sized brand going up against multi-billion-dollar tech companies and telecom companies and banks. So that's pretty impressive. That company is 1-800-GOT-JUNK. They operate in Australia. They have franchises in Canada, the US, and Australia. Essentially what they do is if this hotel or venue wanted to get rid of these tables and chairs because they upgraded, they would hire them, and a FedEx-like service comes, picks it up, gets rid of it. They work with a lot of real estate companies in North America because you may have clients that want to get rid of stuff before the open house or the showing. This company started in 1989. With a $1,000 investment by an entrepreneur named Brian Scudamore. $1,000, $700 for a beat-up truck, $300 for marketing material, and he just started knocking on people's doors saying, hey, can I remove your things for a fee? The company now this year will do $250 million a year in revenue, and the best thing about it, and why I love this business, is because it has one owner, no outside investors. In a world where raising $20 million is a feather in your hat, this is a true business. So I said, I got to go work for them. I rather learn in this environment than in a classroom. So I started there in 2007, and I started off in a call center, right? Answering 100 calls a day. I know what it's like to speak to so many customers in one day where you have to have what I call service endurance, where you don't want to speak to another customer, but you have to, right? Being able to deliver the same level of service the 100th time of the day as you did the first time of the day. Soon after the first year, I realized, what's going to be my thing? Am I going to be a marketer, a salesperson? What's going to be my concentration? So I went off to study and understand what I wanted my niche to be. And I recognized that nobody was focusing on customer experience management. This was nearly 10 years ago. But companies like Amazon, Apple, WestJet, Southwest Airlines have all grown to be multi-billion-dollar companies from nothing. Remember, Apple and Amazon started off in a garage. They were way smaller than your business is today. And they've grown by leveraging customer experience. So I said, that's going to be my thing. So for 5 years, I spent there, was promoted 5 times, 1 time a year. Eventually, myself and Simon Lowe, the SVP of operations, we built a customer experience department within this company. So there was marketing, there was biz dev, there was HR, and then there was customer experience, an entity within the business. And our mandate was to make sure that our NPS score grew, and it grew to 89 when I left. Don't know what it's at today, but I'm sure it's still exceptional. Our mandate was to take the data and build operational improvement plans to ensure that our customer retention went up. We had to focus on our customer retention. We also were responsible for building customer-centric training materials for the entire system. Because regardless of whether you were serving a customer in Florida or in Brisbane or in Montreal, Quebec, just like McDonald's, a Big Mac is a Big Mac is a Big Mac, regardless of the city that you're in. And that's what we need to focus on, was building training to ensure that our frontline employees were equipped with the education to deliver an experience that our customers had never seen before. That was some of our mandate. 2 years before I left, I sat down with my direct report, the person I was reporting into, and he said, what do you want to do after this? You know, your time's probably going to come up. People could tell I was plotting my exit already. And I said, you know what? I want to advise companies. I want to keynote speak. I want to advise companies as big as Coca-Cola. I was 25, right? I kind of meant it, but like, I didn't really have a plan. I just kind of threw it out there. And he's like, Michel, keep your goals realistic. I don't mean to sound like a jerk to show you the next slide, but these are now some of my clients. If I had listened to him, I would have never, ever been able to consult for companies like this. And as leaders within your organization, if you ever have somebody in your organization that is just saying things but are so ambitious, who are willing to put their head down, serve your customers, grow their career, don't get in their way. Right? I am a partner in several businesses back in Canada. And one of them is a restaurant, a venue. It's 4 floors, 16,000 square feet. We had to hire 100 employees in 30 days. And my job as a partner in the business and as a leader is to cut down all the trees in their path, hire correctly, and then get out of their way. I shouldn't be in the middle of service delivery. I shouldn't worry about that. That was how I kind of got here in the past 10 years. I sacrificed a lot. While my friends were jumping on tables at nightclubs and popping bottles of champagne, I was reading case studies about Zappos, and I'm making up for that now. I'm having a lot of fun now, but I sacrificed my 20s because I knew I had this vision, right? And I'm going to share with you what I plan to do for the next 10 years, but that will be later in the presentation. One thing that I know is to build a memorable customer experience, we have to be aligned behind the language. This is where I'm going to go wide, and then I'm going to get really narrow. I want you to think, I will buy someone their first cocktail tonight if you are brave enough to tell me, how do you define customer experience? Who has a thought in their head and wants a free drink? There you go. Can I get a runner? Oh, awesome. And your name too, please.
Jeff Dixon.
Jeff? Thank you, Jeff.
Communication
Okay.
is the main thing when you're talking to somebody and listening to them to begin the pathway of where they want to go and where you want to end up.
Okay, absolutely. So communicating, listening, taking that communication and being able to deliver a service and a promise. Right here. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Brett Greensill.
Brett?
Brett.
Yes, okay.
Brett. My view would be that it's about providing solutions to people before they know what the problem is.
Okay, fantastic. And then one more.
Nick Plavitas. It's a.
Do I have to buy drinks for all three of you? All right, go ahead.
It's a series of actions designed to produce an outcome that's desirable for both the customer.
Fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen. This is how I define it. Customer experience is the sum of all interactions your customers experience when doing business with you from beginning to end. Who has been to a movie theater in the past 6 months? Who's gone to the, yep, right there. Could I get a runner over here, please? Could you walk me through from the moment you realized that you wanted to see a movie? What was that experience like? What were the steps?
The actual physical steps, or?
Yep.
Yep. So walking up the escalator, all the lights, smell of popcorn, all the people around, the hype. I think it was a Jason Bourne movie, was the last one I saw. And we go to event cinemas, and they do that extremely well.
Okay.
So you walk in, you feel like a star.
Okay, fantastic. So I use this example because I think it's relevant. Everybody's probably been to a movie theater in the past year or two. But first is the awareness. Maybe there's some sort of marketing ad on TV or print where you're like, I want to see that movie. The next is you got to buy your tickets, right? For me, I'm buying my tickets on my mobile phone. Now, if that movie theater's website isn't mobile optimized, I'm going to think twice of whether I want to go to that movie theater or not, because I'm being asked to exhaust energy to make that purchase. I don't want to zoom in and squint. It's a hassle. That's a bad customer experience. That's another interaction. I checked out your guys' new website, your mobile website, which I believe launched last week. It's fantastic. It is very, very good. Industry leading easily. So congratulations on that. Next, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to park my car in the movie theater lot, which is assuming that it's owned by the movie theater. Now, that's an interaction as well, too, because what if there is garbage in the parking lot with the company's logo on it? That's a bad interaction. That's a bad customer experience. From there, I go into the movie theater. I have my ticket validated. That's another customer experience. Then I'm going to buy my popcorn, another customer experience. Then I'm going to go to the bathroom, another interaction, because what if that bathroom's dirty? Then I'm finally going to sit down and watch that movie. Then maybe they serve me after. Do you see how every single one of those interactions makes up the entire experience? And if one of them's good, but the next one's bad, they're all bad. Why this stuff is so difficult is each one of those interactions, and I want you to think about your business, each one of those interactions could be managed by a different department. And if you don't all view the customer experience behind the same lens, how are you supposed to deliver a seamless experience? You can't. It is absolutely impossible. Because one customer is going to get one experience, and then the next customer is going to get the next, and it's just fragmented. It's not fluid. That's why this stuff is so difficult. That's what customer experience is. Customer service are actions. If one of your clients calls in and speaks to your office manager or one of your colleagues and needs an email sent to them with some sort of attachment or form, that's an action, right? That's what customer service is. Customer service and customer experience are two different things. They work hand in hand and have to work in harmony with each other. Customer-centric. The belief that an organization operates from the viewpoint of the customer. If you need to make a decision, I don't want you to put yourself in the customer's shoes. I want you to ask yourself, if this decision was being made on my behalf, would I like it or not? If you can't genuinely say yes, then you're about to make the wrong decision. Not only that, one team, one goal. We can't all be making customer-centric decisions, and then another department or another office is making ones that go against being customer-centric, because then that just hurts your brand. You guys are all a brand within a brand. Not only do you have to consider the customer when you make these decisions, you have to consider your colleagues as well too. Because what makes sense for you and the customer might not make sense for your colleague. So that's why you have to have a holistic view on the decisions you're making. Goldcorp, the world's largest gold producer. They're based in Vancouver, where home used to be for me. I'm now in Toronto, and I hosted a workshop for their executive team to become more customer-centric. Their business is to dig gold out of the earth and sell it to the market. You would think, why the hell do they care about customer experience? So I hosted this workshop, and as I was leaving, their SVP of operations said, Michel, I have to tell you, when I heard you were going to be here, I didn't want you here. I was like, holy crap, honesty does not escape you. And I said, why? And he said, because we don't have the traditional customer. We're not a hotel. We're not Starbucks. And I knew that that was their mentality. As I was preparing, my message was to get them to think differently about who their customer is. Why must your customer be the person that pays you? Why can't your customer be the person that you pay? Your vendor, your business partner that helps you operate your business, the people, your printing company that prints all your marketing collateral, your web developer that helps build your website. To be a truly customer-centric organization, you must deliver an experience that they've never seen before with everyone that interacts with your brand. Now, my pitch to Goldcorp, a publicly traded company, where the bottom line matters more than pretty much anything, was if your business partners and vendors, the people that sell you machinery to actually do your job and extract gold from the earth, and the companies that sell you hard hats to keep your employees safe, if you deliver a world-class Ritz-Carlton-like service to them, what do you think is going to happen when it's time to renegotiate fees or re-up your contract? The likelihood that they give you preferred pricing over your competitors is there, therefore increasing your margin. That is the economic sense of why you do that stuff. Organic growth, referrals, and repeat customer. I need you guys to walk away and use this language all of the time. Organic growth comes from referrals and repeat customers. Think of it, it grows naturally. Why do you want organic growth? It helps secure your livelihood. But this type of revenue is extremely, extremely profitable. If I told Flossie, if the next time you go to Vancouver, I want you to go to Heartbread Cafe in Vancouver. They're going to take care of you. Their product's amazing. Their prices are fair. You're going to pay a little bit more, but their service is absolutely amazing. If he goes and spends $10 at this coffee shop, that's highly profitable for them. They just have to cover the cost of goods sold and any maybe fixed costs. They didn't have to market to Flossie to acquire him as a customer, because I did that for free by delivering an amazing experience to me for the first time. Now, if Flossie goes again and again and again, that revenue is highly profitable because they're not having to market to him. Marketing is expensive. They say that marketing is the cost that you pay by delivering a bad customer experience. Kind of makes sense. I don't do this stuff because delivering great service makes you feel warm and fuzzy and it puts smiles on people's faces. I'm not a bad guy. Like, sure, that's great if it's an outcome. I do it because it makes dollars and cents. I'm a capitalist. These are some of the things that are the outcome of delivering an amazing customer experience and the ROI. Organic growth. You need to be hammering this home to everyone in the organization. Increase in profitability. Does Starbucks, when's the last time you saw a Starbucks ad? You don't, because they reinvest in training. You don't see Starbucks ads. And they grow from one store to 22,000. I would not want to go head-to-head with Howard Schultz and debate advertising with him. I think he knows what he's doing. Likelihood of cross and upselling. In your business, the cross-sell. So you sell someone's home, you're the chosen agent, you sell their home, and then the service that you cross-sell them is repping their 5 other homes that they have and managing them. Now, Amazon is a perfect example of doing this. Amazon, again, started off in 1997. They were so small that they had a bell that went off every single time they sold a book. Remember, they only sold books in the early days. They have a market cap of $200 billion now. Again, I think they know what they're doing. But they started off selling books for years and built trust with the market, built trust with the market, built trust with the market, started earning more market share, more market share. Then they were like, I wonder if these people are going to buy a blender from us. They cross-sold us a blender. And then they upsold us a spatula. And they're like, holy crap, they're buying a lot of stuff from us. You haven't earned the right to cross or upsell your customer until you've built trust with them first. You've all been cross-sold as consumers or upsold, and you found it disingenuous, right? Because you just felt like that person was trying to earn their commission. But when you actually trust a person, they can sell you everything. As a consumer, I don't want a vendor for every single thing in my life. I would love to have just 10 major companies in my life, and I just buy everything from them. There could be many bolt-on services in the future that LJ Hooker offers their customers. You start off with what you're doing now, and in the next 10 to 20 years, who knows what else services and products you might be selling. But you have to build trust with them first to be able to cross and upsell. Brand admiration. Do you want your customers to look at your logo and think, I wonder what color red or hue red they used in that logo? No. I know some companies that spend more time and money perfecting their logo before they even focus on their customer experience. And it's sad. What you want your customers to look or feel when they see your logo is that's a people-centric company. They take care of their employees, they take care of their customers. Here's a check. I wish it went like that, but you get the idea. Improving customer retention. I mentioned earlier, if you're able to deliver a service your customers have never seen before, they don't want to leave. Customers don't want to leave you. Your actions are the outcomes of why they leave you. And lastly, increase in employee engagement. If you want your team to bleed blood and custard, you have to fully be committed to them, their well-being, but then also to your customer experience. Because individuals and professionals want to be proud of the company that they work for. Who has higher morale? The employee that gets yelled at all the time, i.e. like telco employees, or the employee that works for LJ Hooker, where customers are like, you get out of your branded car, your wrapped car, and they're like, I love your company. You're going to release endorphins. You're going to be proud. And that's why increased employee engagement happens with companies that are completely committed to their customer experience. This is where I get narrow. I take pride. I don't care to be called a guru or an expert. I care about being called a practitioner, somebody that knows how to parachute into a business, look under the hood and say, this is what you need to do, this is how to do it, let's make sure it gets done. These are some of the things that I'm recommending that you start doing tomorrow. My parents bought a home, the family home, in 1999. They still live there today. And when they bought their home, I remember the realtor gave them a TV after as their gesture. We didn't need a TV. We had all the TVs that we needed in the household. My dad didn't like the TV. We found out that this realtor at the beginning of the year buys a certain amount of TVs every year in bulk to save money and then just hands them out. Okay, I'm not going to turn away a flat screen TV, but the problem with that gesture is that it's easy to replicate. Your competitor can easily replicate that. If you're going to want to increase market share, you have to do stuff like micro customer experiences. This is something that I coined a few years ago. A micro customer experience is a subtle, memorable, and affordable gesture that you do for your customers that resonates with them for years. This is the most pure form of marketing. Customer experience is the new marketing. Do stuff like Warby Parker. Warby Parker 5 years ago did not exist. They sold me these glasses. They sell eyewear and sunglasses. Their main competitor is a company called Luxottica. They do about $8 billion a year in revenue. They're based in Italy. If you own a pair of Oakleys, Gucci's, Versace's, Ray-Bans, Luxottica makes it for those brands. Those brands don't make those glasses, by the way. It's Luxottica. Warby Parker is now worth $1 billion in 5 years by doing stuff like this. They don't market. They don't have crazy sales teams. They reinvest in their employee engagement and their customer experience. A customer named Tess in Atlanta, Georgia, orders a pair of glasses online. She goes, picks them up from the nearest retail location. She walks in the store. An alert employee recognizes this customer isn't having a good day. Maybe it was her body language, who knows? The employee asks, how's your day going? The customer responds with, not really well. I'm here to pick up my glasses, but I had somebody steal my car last night. I could really use a beer. The employee does what everyone is trained to do. Be empathetic. Acknowledge the situation. Listen to the customer. Help them with their transaction. Serve them. Customer leaves. 24 hours later, Tess gets this card in the mail. Hey, Tess, we are so sorry to hear about your car. Since you probably won't be the designated driver anytime soon, here's a round on us. Love your friends at Warby Parker. P.S. Your Durand frames look amazing. Inside that envelope is a $25 gift certificate to a local microbrewery so that she could get that beer that she, in passing, said that she wanted. The story doesn't end there, and it gets only better and better. This customer is never, ever, ever going to buy another pair of glasses, ever. I'm going to assume Tess's 5 best friends are also going to buy glasses from there. So there's the organic growth I'm telling you about. How does this happen? Warby Parker knows how to hire. Not everyone can do this. You need to have customer centricity in your DNA. You have to learn how to care about a stranger, because ultimately, the leadership team, that is what you're doing. You're handing the keys, and the franchisees as well too, you're handing the keys to your business and saying, take care of strangers. That is what you are doing. It is human behavior. They know how to recruit. They know how to interview, so that employees like that can do that automatically. It comes second nature to them. I mentioned that we had to hire in one of my businesses 100 employees in a short period of time. Our interview process is very rigorous. 3 interviews by 3 different people on 3 consecutive days. We have people drop off on the second time. At the second interview, say, screw this. I'm going to go work down the street at this place that's much easier to get through the interview process. And we want to squeeze people out. We want people to drop off like flies. For every 10 people we meet, we only hire 2 people. You might think that's extremely inefficient, but we're building businesses for the next 50 years. We're not building it for the next 50 weeks. Warby Parker also knows how to train their employees. Listening is the cheapest skill set you can train someone to do. Listening is the easiest thing for us to do. Listening and taking action on what you have actually heard helps you do stuff like this. 2 other things happen. This employee has the autonomy to do this stuff. She doesn't have to ring head office and say, hey, this is the situation. Am I allowed to do it? No, just do it. As long as it's ethical, do it. And they're able to do that because they have an operating budget. There's a line item on their P&L. I don't know what they call it, but maybe it's customer gestures. In one of our business, it's only $250 a month that we allocate, and we have 100 employees. The reason why it's only $250 a month is it's easy for us to say it's going to be $2,000 a month, but then that's when people stop losing their creativity, right? We want them to be small and subtle and memorable gestures. $20 here, $25 there, $30 there, and we cap it at $250 a month. Every single person in this room can afford to do that. The ROI of this. PR agencies charge companies like Warby Parker tens of thousands of dollars a month, right, to get free PR. BusinessInsider.com, TheHuffingtonPost.com, Mashable.com collectively get tens of millions of page views a month. They all picked up this story. $30 and a well-trained employee got them what would cost a regular company $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to actually the outcome of that happening. Customer experience can be your best form of marketing and free PR because companies and publications love reporting on stuff like this. I coach some realtors in North America on how to do this stuff, and Peter is someone that I coach. We meet and talk about once a month. And we started hammering home micro customer experiences. Before, he was doing the thing like fruit baskets and so forth. And don't get me wrong, those things are beautiful. But again, those are easy to replicate. So I said, Peter, you just recently sold a $7 million home in Vancouver. What did you do for your customer? What type of experience did they get? And he told me everything leading up to it. And I was like, wow. He's like, Michel, wait till you hear what I did at the very end. The first time in the open house, he met this young couple. The young couple, in passing, Peter was just kind of off to the side, in passing said, I haven't been, sweetheart, we haven't been to Victoria in a very long time. Victoria is an island about an hour away from downtown Vancouver. So Peter wrote that down, right? He used a pen and paper, which pen and paper, by the way, was the original CRM. Let's not forget that. The next time when he met them to take him on a tour of other houses, the wife happened to tell the husband and Peter, we love Italian food. Peter wrote that down. Sold the house, earned his commission, and the gift that he got them was a one-night stay at this hotel in Victoria, the city that they said that they hadn't frequented in a long time, paid for their car to get on their ferry and their tickets, and reserved a table for them at this Italian restaurant in that city. I'm not going to advocate just spend a lot of money. This was done pretty lean. $500 on a commission of $7 million a house, he could afford to do this stuff. This customer is never, ever going to use a realtor ever again in their lives, ever. When they're on the soccer pitch, taking their son or daughter to soccer, and a parent happens to say, do you know a realtor? This person is going to kick down walls and recommend Peter. That's the ROI of doing this stuff. That is the economic sense of doing this stuff. Micro customer experiences. Content marketing. Creating valuable industry education that enriches your customers' lives. Before I bought my first home, I knew nothing about your world. Zero. And many, many customers in this industry don't know a thing, but they're not willing to admit it because they'll feel like, I'm vulnerable. What if this person takes advantage of me? They're not going to admit it. But let me tell you what. I would be more inclined to use a realtor that produced content. Actually, let me ask. How many people are blogging, YouTubing, podcasting, creating infographics today? Raise your hand. Oh, 2? Everyone's hand should be up. So I was taken back by that. I thought half the room's hands are going to be up. So I'm going to live here for a little bit. This, ignore the brand. I have another realtor friend in Vancouver who I coach, and he spends, I don't know, probably tens of thousands a year in outdoor media, not to mention print and everything else that he does. And we're talking about customer experience, and he said, Michel, I can't afford to do it. I was like, BS. Yes, you can. You're spending $24,000 a year to be on one bus ad. So I kept asking him, like, what is the ROI of your bus ad? And don't tell me brand awareness. I get brand awareness. Brand awareness is important in my world, and it's important in your world as well, too. But it's not a long-term play. We know that, right? So I kept hammering him. I said, Mark, tell me, what is the ROI of this? What is the ROI of this? Why can't you afford customer experience? And finally, I broke him down. He said, you want to know why I spend $24,000 a year to be on the back of this bus? I said, yeah, I've been trying to get this information out of you for 3 months. He said, because this bus route drives past my ex-wife's house every single day, and I want her to see my face. And I was like, that's dark, man. Like, I don't know if I can help you. I think you got to go see the world's best psychologist for that. But he doesn't do back of the bus ads anymore. He does micro customer experiences, and he does things that serve his customers. Do you know what, people? And please know, I believe in traditional marketing. I totally do. But I don't believe you should neglect your customer experience because you're too busy with traditional stuff. Gary Vaynerchuk, a prominent digital marketer based in New York, says it beautifully. Market in the year that you live in. If you're still using 1997 marketing tactics in a world where millennials' attention is on Facebook and Snapchat and LinkedIn and YouTube, you got a problem, a massive, massive problem. The difference between people that are willing to, professionals that are willing to commit to their customer experience over traditional marketing is they're customer-centric, not ego-centric. I know people that invest in the back of the bus advertising or traditional marketing because they love seeing their face. It's true. We all have a little bit of an ego, right? But how far are we willing to push it? Traditional publicity only holds attention for a short period of time. It interrupts instead of offering something of value. It tends to be expensive. Content marketing, blogging, YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever the case is, producing value where attention is, provides value to clients, creating brand loyalty. Blogs and video educate so clients buy in the future. I can't promise you that this content marketing strategy is going to convert you a client in the next 24 hours. I just can't. It's not pay-per-click. But when has educating somebody ever come back to hurt someone? Whether it's a child or someone in your industry. When preparing for this event, I pretended I was one of you. Who has used Google Keyword Planner before in their life? Good, because I want to educate you. So I pretended that I was a realtor in Australia, and I was going to use content marketing to grow my business. So I went to Google Keyword Planner, a tool that's going to tell you how many people search keywords on Google per month. So I typed in buying a home in Australia. And that's where I started. Now you'll notice that the second box, buying a home in Australia, only got 10 to 100 visits or search results per month. That's very low. Only 10 to 100 people per month are searching those keywords. However, by doing a little bit more due diligence, I recognize that these search results yielded 1,000 to 10,000 Google results every month. So houses in Australia, if I was you, I would build a very rich, in-depth blog post, and the title would be the most cost-effective way to buy houses in Australia. Because guess what Google is searching? They know that 1,000 to 10,000 people per month are searching those terms. So that needs to be in your title. It needs to be in all your copy as well, too. And at the very end, after I have your prospective customer reading, being like, this guy knows his stuff. He's educating me. I like him. At the very end, I'm going to say, download this infographic that summarizes all the key points of what I just said so that you could post it up in your office or in your home. Oh, and by the way, give me your email address to get that infographic. Now I'm growing my email list. Next, what I would do, I would take $50. Everybody can afford $50, and I would buy Facebook ads, not to produce or promote a debonair picture of me like this. I would use that $50 to pump that post with just the title. And I would target males and females between the age of 30 and 49, let's say, within your region. And I would drive people to that blog post, and that's where the visibility is, because your prospective customers might be on Facebook, maybe it's on LinkedIn, and that's where you're going to grab their attention. And like I said, this is a long-term play. I hope you plan on being in business for the next 3 to 5 years. Everyone does. So why not do this stuff now? It's very easy to work with a creative company and write a check and say, yeah, I'm on the back of the bus. And where's the ROI? I've never in my life heard anybody say, hey, you should use Flossie. Did you see how nice his hair looked on the back of the bus? You should call him. Nobody has ever said that, like in the history of business. This is the type of stuff you need to be doing. If you don't know how to do it, if you're too busy to do it, that's fine. Outsource it. Okay? If you feel that this is a weakness, I don't focus on my weaknesses at all. I double down on what my strengths are. I identify my top 3 strengths, and I know them. I double down on them, just like I would with a nice hand if I'm playing blackjack. And then I surround myself with people that will better me, and my weaknesses are their strengths. Service level agreements, internal rules that influence high levels of service. So how long would it take for you to respond to me if I emailed you? How long would it take your colleague to respond to an email that I sent to them? If I left you a voicemail, how long would it take you to respond? A service level agreement is an internal rule that you live by. It helps you align your customer experience, and it acts as your North Star, and you just follow it as a team. Let me ask you, if a customer emailed one of your team members today, on average, how long would it take them to respond? Flossie, I'm going to pick on you. You got a mic? How long would it take you to respond to somebody that emailed you? Personally. And no BS. Give it to us raw.
I forward it to my assistant straight away and they get onto it straight away.
Okay, so how long does that take?
Could be half an hour, could be an hour.
Okay. What if it
straight away.
takes 6 hours? Is that inconsistent? Is that too long of a period of time?
Yep.
Okay. What about your second best person, highest performing person in the office? What's their service level agreement for email? Do they have one?
No.
There you go. These are the little things, right? This presentation is affordable tactics. I'm the cheapest guy in the world. I'm always looking for things that are affordable. It's easy for me to stand here and be like, hey, spend $10,000 and do this. But you know what? The fact of the matter is maybe we can't afford that, Michel. These are the things that you can afford. Pay and sweat equity in everything you do. Just work a little harder. Just ask for more business. It is mind-boggling how some people will deliver an amazing customer experience and then walk away and go find their next customer. You don't need more customers. You have all the customers you need. You need to look behind you and be like, there's 10 customers who absolutely love me. How do I pop the lid and get them to refer me one friend, one former colleague, one family member, just to have a conversation? Right? Every single time that I keynote an event, and Graham, you're going to have this conversation pretty soon, I'm going to be like, do you know anybody in this entire country who might need me to speak at their event? I'd rather grow that way because it's highly, highly profitable. Make sure that there is an internal rule and language. That's very important. Language. If I was a realtor in this country, every single time I delivered an amazing experience, and keep in mind, you have about 24 to 48 hours where your customer is in a euphoric state. You just sold them their biggest investment in their lives. If you deliver an amazing experience, they want to refer you, but don't make it difficult for them. Remind them. Just say, Mrs. Jones, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to find you your dream home. I loved delivering this experience to you. Do you happen to know a friend, a family member, a former colleague that you could put me in touch with? I would love to deliver the same experience to them as well too. Who's going to say no to that? But yet, what we try to do is we try to spray and pray. We try to just write a check and mark it blindly, and we neglect to do the little things.